As I finished my first impressions of the first episode of Taisho Otome Fairy Tale, I had this sense that everything was going to be misunderstood. As you have this whole perspective of Tamahiko envisioning all of his family looking down upon him and seeing him as this disposable thing. Like, one perspective is, I wish that you had died rather than mom. You're useless. Get out of here. I had this feeling like, watch, we're going to get into each one of these particular family members, and they're all going to be good people in the end. But as we went into episode 2 and we kind of finished episode 2, I was kind of going, no, they're actually that bad. But it does seem like there's more to that story as we get into episode 3 of it. But yeah, this is my thoughts on episode 2 and 3 of Taisho Otome Fairy Tale. Let's jump into it. Yeah, as we get into episode 2, a focus on this episode is on this letter that Tamahiko receives from his father. And in this letter, he basically claims that he's going to pronounce Tamahiko as dead. That because the other family members or other siblings of him all need to be married out in order to gain them power, they need to give this perspective to society that Tamahiko died in that accident. He died along with the mother. And that'll allow their marriages to happen and them to be able to move on and gain power. And so, again, this is something to just knock Tamahiko right back down. He's finally being happy again along with Yuzuki, and now he's supposed to be dead to his father, an entire family, and this completely wrecks him to the point where he just goes back into his ball. Like, I'm just going to curl up in a ball and die here. And of course, Yuzuki is not wanting this to happen. She's trying to take care of him this entire time, all the way to the point where he becomes actually ill. She's taking care of him, and at some point he pukes on her so that it messes up her kimono. I did like one of the statements that Yuzuki gave him, which was, he's talking about wanting to die and everything, and her statement is that he shouldn't say things that he can't say without crying because that will only hurt him further. But anyway, like I said, he puked on her, so he realizes that he ruined her only good outfit. And so he takes her to Tokyo so they can go look for some fabric for her to make herself a new outfit. And this is really cute because we have this whole scene with them going around the shopping districts and finding the clothing, and him, like, she's like trying to decide between two different ones, and he's like, well, let's just get both of them. So she's super happy about all this stuff. She's even excited in the idea that she'll wear something so beautiful that she'll look just like Katori Shirotori, who is obviously this very popular singer, which I'm sure we'll run into later because they name dropped her. They even have this little moment where they go to this little cafe where they have ice cream there, and she enjoys some ice cream, and she even goes to give him some, and everybody's going, oh, how improper. These improper people just having this lovey-dovey thing in the middle of a cafe. How dare they? Yuzuki actually talks about her experience with her parents, where we have Tamahiko is talking about the fact that his father essentially has told him he's dead. Yuzuki, in a sense, has the same experience because as she was sold off, she actually told her parents to just see her as being dead. Like, don't worry about it. Just, I will go with him and just move on with your life. Just see me as being dead. Which kind of sucks because it doesn't seem like that should have been that extreme. But in a sense, yes, being sold off to somebody else, not knowing what they're being sold off for, is pretty much a death sentence. But she does say that this is a kind of a lead up to her saying that she will never leave his side. Like, he is her life now, and she's going to do everything she can for him. And all the way to the point, yes, she eventually finishes her new kimono. It looks really adorable. She actually doesn't seam the shoulders because I guess she expects to get taller. But yeah, as they're still happy, we're happy again. Tamahiko has gotten back out of his hole again. He's happy. I swear this guy is not allowed to be happy. It ends this second episode with, yes, his sister shows up, and she's like, oh, hey, I'm here. And he's like, what are you doing here? This is my place. And she's like, oh, well, you're supposed to be dead, so I guess I'll go ahead and take this place. Opening up episode 3, we get the introductions to the sister. They talk about the fact that there's an age difference here. They kind of have this little moment between Yuzuki and her, talking about how, Yuzuki is 14 years old, so she's 2 years older than her, but she's still so short. Makes fun of her kimono and the fact that she didn't seam it up. But yeah, this gets heavily into the sister as we find out that Tamahiko's sister essentially has her own insecurities. Obviously, she's very combative when she first arrives. He notes that she's very smart. She's the smartest of the siblings, but that her words kind of cut like daggers. And as she's there, she's obviously really questioning the two of them, their relationship. Why are they so happy? They should be upset. He's dead. She's kind of forced to be here. Poor her. But then she's realizing just how much fun they're having, how they're They're lively, they're enjoying their time, and really questioning the sanity of Yuzuki as she's dealing with the situation and she thinks that she should be miserable. But we actually get a perspective of the sister and what she deals with on a daily basis. We see this picture of her when she was younger, trying to get her father's attention, and how he would just pay people to keep her attention. Like, here, take care of her, get her away from me. And additionally, feeling like she would have been able to have friends and find some new world when she went to school. But when she got there, all she got was gossip. Everybody gossiped about her height, her size, how she's much taller than the rest of them, and ultimately about her family. But it was odd that from her perspective, again, this is that whole thing of we don't know the full story, even though he sees them as looking down upon him and hating him. It was the reverse as well. She believed that Tamahiko hated her. And even though she jokes about the idea that she finds this whole thing amusing and how everybody at his funeral was just, basically hamming it up and they were all faking that even father broke out a tear, she actually takes issue with things. And again, it's obviously going to be that whole aspect of, fixing her through warmth. Because obviously we have this whole night where there's thunder happening. She's afraid of it. She almost goes to seek help from Yuzuki, but she hesitates. Yuzuki's like, what do you need? And she's like, I just need to find the bathroom. And as they're going there, she loses it all over the floor. But Yuzuki goes way out of her way to throw her into the bath, start up a fire, all while out in the rain herself, and takes care of her. And again, that's that aspect of she doesn't trust her and sees that she's just saying things in order to gain favor from her. But it's just Yuzuki's nature. And this leads to them forming a bond, and Yuzuki starts teaching her how to make food, and they're all super happy. And I think, like I said before, I think a lot of this story is trying to push onto the sister the warmth of the two of them. She's so used to everybody hating her, the gossip, the father basically dismissing her, the lack of love that she's experienced her entire life, and now she's experiencing love through Yuzuki. And I think that warmth that she's experiencing through Yuzuki's relationship to Tamahiko is what eventually fixes her, ? Now, like I said, I think it's kind of ending it with this note that she likes Yuzuki a lot, but I don't think necessarily that it's ending it on the note that she likes Tamahiko. I think that's still down the road. As we've already experienced, like I said, she doesn't trust that Tamahiko's a good person. She believes that he hates her. He believes that she hates him. It's that whole miscommunication that's happening because this family sucks at communication. Obviously, we've established that the Shima family sucks at communication. And like I said, I thought that was going to be the key role in the family, as we see in the first episode, was that it was going to be a lot of misunderstandings, that people just don't communicate with each other. So they all believe they hate each other. They're all gaining power. They're all seeking power. And that's going to blow up in their faces, and I think that's happening with the sister. She even mentions the fact that she hated school so much because of the gossip. She told her father that she was going to take some time away from school, and he's like, do you want to end up like Tamahiko? It's like, this family sucks. And I think, again, Yuzuki is the thing that's going to fix them. She's going to be the one that fixes the family to realize what love is. And I think that's the route the story is taking, especially for the Shima family and their involvement with it. So yeah, really cute in the end. I'm sure that the sister's probably going to have a lot more development happening in the future. Like I said, I don't think the things are ended between her and Tamahiko. I think that's going to be something probably in the next episode. The next episode preview looks bad. It doesn't look like it's going to be a happy episode. Hopefully doesn't get too heavy, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to that episode. I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys enjoyed my impressions on this episode. If you did, leave a like down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video if you can. Support us on Patreon if you can. Definitely appreciate everybody that does. And y'all take care.